Mucha gente quiere leer más, quieren comprar libros, guardan artículos, incluso hablan sobre leer, pero les cuesta muchísimo comenzar el hábito. O sea, se dicen al principio del año que este año van a leer un libro, dos, 10 libros, lo que sea, y eso fue lo que yo hice al principio del año. Y en el podcast del día de hoy, en el PAI, el podcast para aprender inglés, voy a hablar de eso. Bienvenidos a el PAI. El PAI es el podcast para aprender inglés y como ya les dije, el día de hoy vamos a hablar de por qué a mucha gente que quiere comenzar a leer, pero nunca comienzan. ¿Vale? Como me pasó a mí muchísimo tiempo. Y eso fue lo que yo me dije al principio de este año, que iba a leer un libro al mes y ya luego les diré cómo me está yendo con ese hábito. Entonces, bienvenidos al PAI, ya que están aquí. Solamente aprovecha de presionar en compartir y copiar enlace. No tienes que hacer más nada, no tienes que enviárselo a nadie, solamente compartir, copiar enlaces, lo único que tienes que hacer. Veamos el PAI nivel intermedio el día de hoy, martes, ¿vale? Así que habrá mucho menos español y mucho más inglés, pero de igual manera será un inglés un poco más lento, ¿ok? Así que veamos, ¿ok? Tenemos el bloque número 1, me gusta tener una especie de no lo quiero decir, pero una herramienta de este estilo para distraerme, por decirlo de alguna manera, o concentrarme. Tenemos bloque número 1. This first block that we have today is why reading feels so hard to start. ¿Por qué se siente que es tan difícil comenzar a leer? So some vocabulary we're going to find in this lesson and this podcast today, on this block, this block today is, for example, habit, que es hábito, attention, que es atención, concentration, que es concentración, mental effort, que es esfuerzo mental, y routine, que es rutina. Algunas frases que vamos a conseguir en este bloque será to build a habit, construir un hábito, short attention span, que es un corto rango de atención o corto plazo de atención. Y to feel mentally tired, sentirse mentalmente cansado. Entonces, let's start with this block we have today. Many people say they want to read more. They like the idea of reading. They buy books, they save articles, they follow reading accounts online. This is exactly what I used to do in the past. But when the moment comes, they don't read. According to research shared by Pew Research Center, many adults report that they read less today than in the past. Not because they don't value reading, but because reading feels mentally demanding after long days of work and screens. Reading requires attention. It requires silence. It requires being present. And modern life makes all of that harder. A modern life, after hours of notifications, messages, emails, and scrolling, the brain feels tired. Not physically tired, but cognitively tired. When that happens, the brain looks for easy stimulation, not deep focus. This is why many people choose videos over books at night. Not because books are boring, but because reading feels like effort. Harvard Health Publishing explains that reading activates multiple areas of the brain at the same time. This is great for long-term brain health, but in the short term, it feels demanding. So, when people say, I want to read, but I can't start. Very often, the problem is not discipline, it is mental exhaustion. I completely agree with this first block. It feels really demanding, and I used to feel that it was more of a task, and I used to say that it was just impossible for me. Entonces, veamos el segundo bloque. Recuerda poner algo en los comentarios. Me ayuda un montón. Me ayuda primero saber que estás escuchando esto más de 5 minutos. Second block that we have, the most common excuses people use. Las excusas más comunes que usa la gente. Some vocabulary we're going to find in this block is excuse, excusa, time management, manejo de tu tiempo, priority, que es prioridad, motivation, que es motivación, distraction, que es distracción. And some key phrases we're going to find is I don't have time, no tengo tiempo, I'm too tired, que estoy muy cansado, I'll start tomorrow, que es yo empezaré mañana. Entonces, veamos este segundo bloque que es the most common excuses people use, las excusas más comunes que la gente usa. When people talk about reading, the same excuses appear again and again. I don't have time. I'm too tired. I can't concentrate. I don't know what to read. I'll start next week. According to The Atlantic, lack of time is often not a real lack of time, but lack of priority. People do have small moments, 10 minutes before bed, 5 minutes in the morning, short breaks during the day. The problem is that reading competes with easier habits. Phones are always available. Social media requires no effort. Videos play automatically. Reading does not. Another common excuse is I'm not a good reader. It's my excuse. I used to say that for me, reading was impossible because I am dyslexic, which is true. I am dyslexic, and I am a slow reader, which is the same thing. But I used to say, and I still am. I still am dyslexic, and I still really, I read really slow. But that was an excuse I used to have. Many adults associate reading with school, pressure, or obligation. If reading was stressful in the past, the brain remembers that feeling and avoids it. That used to happen to me a lot because either they made you read something that you didn't want to read because you had no interest in school or university, and now you feel like reading is a task. It's like a chore. It's like you have to do it. It's like ugh, terrible. Still, this is important. Avoiding reading is often emotional, not intellectual. The fear is not the book. The fear is the feeling of failure, boredom, or not understanding. So people postpone, and postponing becomes a habit. Another thing that used to happen to me also was that I choose books that were a little complicated, meaning that the author is an author that writes in a complicated way, like over explaining things in a complicated way to, I don't know, to just like make more pages. So I used to choose those books, and they were really heavy to read, and because I'm a slow reader, it felt like a big chore to do. Anyway, thank you very much for being here. 9 minutes. Good for you. You have to, again, you have to click on share, just copy the link, don't do anything else. You're doing great. Let's see block number 3. Veamos el bloque número 3. How to start reading without pressure. Cómo empezar a leer sin presiones. Some vocabulary we're going to find here is consistency, que es consistencia, o repetición, o es como un hábito constante. Small steps, pasos pequeños. Expectations, que es expectativas. Progress, que es progreso. Identity, que es identidad. Some key phrases we're going to find here are start small, que es comenzar con poco. Lower your expectations, que es bajar tus expectativas. Reading counts even if it's short. Leer cuenta incluso si es algo corto. Genial. Okay, let's see. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, which I have right here. And surprise, I haven't started reading it yet, but I really want to. I'll explain I think in the next episode. I'll explain it. So James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, explains that habits fall when expectations are too high. Many people decide they will read 1 hour a day. That sounds good, but it rarely lasts. The brain resists big changes. Reading 5 pages is easier than reading 50. Reading for 5 minutes is easier than reading for 30. Harvard Health points out that even short reading sessions have benefits. The habit matters more than the duration. Another key idea is identity. Instead of saying, I want to read more, say, I am someone who reads a little every day. This changes the relationship with the habit. Reading does not need to be impressive. It needs to be regular. Reading 1 page counts. Reading 2 pages counts. The goal is not finishing books. The goal is showing up. That's nice. It's really good. I really like it. Just reading a little every day. Subscribe. Even in Spotify, you can subscribe. And you can also comment in Spotify, and you can also rate the episode. You can put 5 stars. What's wrong with me? Stars in this episode. So let's see the 4th block, the last block, and is what books should people start with? And I think this is the main thing we have to talk about today. ¿Con qué libros comenzar? ¿Con qué libros la gente debería comenzar? Yo creo que es una de las cosas más importantes que se debería hablar a la hora de comenzar un nuevo hábito o el hábito de la lectura. Entonces, some vocabulary we're going to find in this blog is beginner friendly, que es amigable para los principiantes, engaging, que te atrapa, short chapters, capítulos cortos, storytelling, que es contar una historia, non-fiction, que es de no ficción. Y some key phrases we're going to find here is easy to follow, fácil de seguir, hard to put down, difícil de soltar, perfect to start reading, perfecto para comenzar a leer. So, many people fail at reading because they start with the wrong books, and it is really what happened to me. A trillion years ago, when I was studying university, someone gave me a book as a gift. I think it was a really nice gift, and I started reading it. And I think it took around a year for me to read that one book, and it was like, I don't know, 200-300 pages. It wasn't that big. Just was a story, and it was so difficult for me to read. And I think it was because maybe that's not my type of book. Maybe. So, according to The Guardian and Goodreads Readers Survey, la encuesta de este sitio llamado Goodreads Reader, Beginners often do better with books that have. Los principiantes se les da mejor los libros que tienen. Short chapters, capítulos cortos. Clear language, lenguaje claro, que era lo que le faltaba a los libros con los que yo comencé a leer. Strong storytelling, contando un cuento de manera sólida. Practical ideas, ideas prácticas. Some good categories to start with, algunas categorías buenas con las cuales comenzar serían short non-fiction, cortos que no sean de ficción, personal essays, ensayos personales, biographies, biografías y light fiction, ficción ligera. Examples often recommended by reading experts. Son ejemplos que a menudo son recomendados por lectores expertos. Atomic Habits de James Clear, and I have read like 50 pages of the book, and it is really easy to read. But I think I started reading it in a moment I shouldn't have been starting a new book. Anyway, The Alchemist from Paulo Coelho, Man's Search for Meaning from Viktor Frankl, and short essay collections or memoirs, memorias. The key is enjoyment. La clave es el disfrute, not difficulty, no la dificultad. If the book feels heavy, stop. Si el libro se siente pesado, que era lo que me sucedía a mí, para, que era lo que yo terminaba haciendo porque decía, es que me duermo. Stop and change the book. Cambia otro libro. It's not your type of book. It's not a problem. Reading is not a test. La lectura no es una prueba. It is a relationship. Es una relación. That's really nice. I liked it. So, please, por favor, llegaste 17 minutos, invertiste en esto. Primero que todo, te lo agradezco por poner 17 minutos de tu vida en escucharme a mí. Segundo, los libros que tú creas, que quisieras comenzar a leer o que tú le recomiendas a ese tipo de personas, como yo, que quieren comenzar ese hábito de la lectura, ponlos abajo. El episodio de mañana, el episodio de nivel avanzado, les voy a hablar de lo que yo hice con este propósito que me puse a principio de año y cómo me está yendo. Que un spoiler es que me está yendo bastante bien. Entonces les diré cómo es que he comenzado este nuevo hábito y cuáles son los consejos que yo les podría dar para esto. Muchísimas gracias. Nos vemos mañana. Qué buen episodio. Se los agradezco un montón. Adiós.